Welcome everybody back to another video here with Chris, and today we're going to be doing starting our tier list for Season 1.5. I know we just started over the weekend with having the Thing and Human Torch come out. Also had a invitational event. I think it was the Asia Invitational Tournament. So a little bit of data to go off of, but also this is just going to be some speculation on what we're going to see sort of in the meta, or that's going to be coming out of the meta from previous, from Season 1.0. So make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy the content, and hit the bell for notifications so you guys know when I post videos. So the I'm going to take some information from the previous tier list that I also did, so you guys can check that out as well. So we're going to start here with Cloak and Dagger. Probably the biggest changes to Cloak and Dagger in the Strategist class. So Cloak and Dagger's ultimate was definitely nerfed in multiple ways. So one, the cost was increased, as well as you are no longer able to layer each instance of the ult. So now you only get one instance of healing rather than being able to multiply that by up to 3 times. And then we had a increase in Cloak's fog and invulnerability ability, which allows you to deal more damage to that person. They have like this purple aura around them. For people who don't know what that is, Cloak probably was the #1 support next to Luna last set, right? And Luna also got hit a little bit on this list, but Cloak and Dagger definitely took the most kind of the brunt of the nerfs. Now this is going to change up the meta pretty dramatically. Where Cloak and Dagger is still going to be a playable support, but instead of being in the S tier, which is where we had her at the beginning of Season 1, she's now going to be down into the A tier, which is definitely not a it's not a complete downgrade. Obviously, she is still a good character, but she's definitely not going to be probably the pick and ban oriented character that she was in Season 1. Now, to go along with that, we have Invisible Woman, who also saw an increase to her ultimate ability, where her ultimate ability now cost more energy. Same thing as Cloak and Dagger, but just not as much. Now with Cloak being sort of the I would say knocked a peg down, Invisible Woman, who was kind of the alternative to whether it was Cloak or Luna being banned, now becomes probably the de facto #1 support, where Luna, who is still incredibly good, is also S tier, and she's probably now the best support in the game. However, in high elos, you are definitely going to be looking to ban Luna in some cases as well. She's probably the only support that really needs a ban now. And because of that, you're going to be then defaulting to Invisible Woman as your primary support, which makes sense. She also got the Blood Shield skin as well for the first half of Season 1, so more people are going to be playing her. So she'll probably be the most played support, and we'll check on the end of Season 2 with pick and ban rate as well. That takes us to, like I said, Luna. She had a small change to her ultimate, which again now cost more. However, her team-up ability with Iron Fist was actually buffed. So this is actually going to, it's just going to keep her in S tier where she was. I don't think the ultimate having an increase definitely hinders her too much. So she's still probably going to be the most picked or banned support, and then Invisible Woman will probably be the de facto primary support that you're going to be able to play, because Luna's going to still be banned. So it takes us to Mantis, who in Season 0, she was fantastic. It was her and Luna basically were kind of the 1 and 2. And Mantis definitely got I would say a nerf in Season 1, but primarily just because of the rise of Invisible Woman. So Mantis is still very good. She's definitely more skill shot oriented with her damage abilities, being like projectiles. She's a very fantastic sleep. She can keep people topped off even when they're out of range, which is also very good because now you have a lot more flyers and divers who are going to be in the meta. I would put Mantis actually down into B tier though. So she was an A tier last set, or at the beginning of the season. We're going to put her now into B tier. I think she definitely falters a little bit. Her ultimate was also nerfed, but her ultimate was nerfed in a way where she does less healing. So it wasn't actually a nerf to the time or the amount of energy required. It's more so the actual ability itself, and I think that is a little bit of a downgrade. So she is going to get hit a little bit, going down from A to B. Now that takes us to Loki, who also saw an increase to his ultimate ability, which is very fair. And actually, by the end of the season, we saw Loki sort of becoming in the triple support meta, kind of becoming the de facto support which you wouldn't really ban Loki. Personally, I would have ended up banning Loki if I was some of these top tier players. But you saw Loki basically just copy whatever 2 supports that you had. So whether it was an Invisible Woman and Cloak, Invisible Woman and Luna and Cloak, you were just copying whoever's ultimate ability you wanted to use at that particular time. Almost like having 2 of them on your team. That's really, really good. So that's really the only change that they did was nerf his ultimate. But because this would have been the time to put Loki personally in S tier, right? However, with the nerf to the all 3 of their ultimates time frame, I think he's just going to stay in A tier. Now you might now be, I want to say, relegated to grabbing a Vanguard or a Duelist ultimate, but you can still grab the Strategist ultimate. However, because these 3 were nerfed, I think he just kind of stays in A. If these 3 did not see an increase to their ultimate timers, Loki would definitely be S tier. But his ultimate's basically on a similar cooldown, so there's no reason for him to move up to S tier because he's going to be kind of in the same spot that he was. Now we get to Adam Warlock, who was the only support who saw an actual buff. So his damage, his long range damage, and his I think it's called Spirit Link, were both improved. So now he does more damage at longer range, and he also has an increase on his heal. I think this actually will make him even better. So Adam Warlock will probably see the same treatment that Loki did in the beginning of Season 1, where Loki was sort of not picked a lot, and then when we entered the triple support meta, Loki ended up getting picked almost all the time in high elo. Now, Adam Warlock is going to sit comfortably in that A tier, and now with his mass healing, I think this is actually going to be the time where people are going to start playing him, and start getting comfortable with playing Adam Warlock. You're probably going to still see some triple support metas. However, now you can sort of rely on maybe like a Luna and like a Luna or an Invisible Woman plus Adam Warlock, to where you can actually you can add another Duelist or another Vanguard to your lineup, because you're able to basically resurrect your entire team. That's gonna be really powerful. You also have the team up with Adam Warlock and Mantis, where Mantis can revive herself. Might see some play, right? Where we might see a triple support meta where like Luna, Adam Warlock, and Mantis, or like Invisible Woman, Adam Warlock, and Mantis, or Mantis is being used as sort of this the secondary healer, while Adam can kind of focus on doing burst damage, and then you also can now use Adam's ability to basically resurrect everybody. So it's gonna be interesting to see how much Adam Warlock we see in competitive play, and also interested to see what his pick rate's gonna be different from season 1.0 to 1.5. Now that brings us to Rocket and Jeff, who saw no changes at all. And I don't know where these 2 are really going to fit in the format, to be honest with you. So both are going to see, I think, increased play, personally, because of the increase to the amount of Groot that we're going to see. So I think Groot is going to be one of the best tanks in Season 1.5, and because of both of these have... both of these characters have a team up where they give him an extra health boost, but also they can ride him, which kind of allows them to sort of stay away from the diving characters. Is actually really powerful. However, I don't think either one really fits into that S tier rank, unfortunately. However, I do think both of them will probably find their way into certain game modes and maybe into certain team comps. So for Rocket, for instance, so Rocket is his ultimate. You either love Rocket or you hate Rocket. There's no real in between. He's either the most versatile support in the game and you love this character, or you think he's complete dog shit. It's one or the other. However, we're going to put him in the B tier, which is where he was. I think he was in A tier at the beginning of season 1.0. So, yeah. So I think I ended up moving him down because of the rise in Adam Warlock. I think this is going to be a big thing. Now, Rocket is very dependent, and this is going to be the same thing for Jeff. Rocket is very dependent on seeing two particular things, which then makes him sort of an S tier character, okay? So, one is Groot. I think having Groot on your team makes this character slightly better. Obviously, you're giving him a team up. He also has a way of escaping diving characters because you can just jump to Groot, right? The second part about this is if you have a Punisher and a Winter Soldier, now you have the ability of creating this unstoppable turret and then another character who has the ability of, chunking out a lot of damage in Winter Soldier, right? So both of these two actually can counter a lot of the shield characters you're still going to see in the game, but also be able to take out a lot of the flying characters, because Punisher is one of the best characters in the game for dealing with those. So next to Namor. So you're going to have the ability of being able to buff those characters. So if all of those pieces fall into place, he's probably an A tier. Ceiling would probably be S tier. But because we're not just relying on the team comps here, he's going to be in a B tier. It's the same sort of thing for Jeff, right? I'm going to put Jeff in C tier. This is exactly where he was last set. I keep saying set because I play card games, but so the last format. With Jeff has a very good team up with Luna, right? So if you get a team comp, and this very particular team comp, which is probably the best way of actually fitting Jeff into a meta, is you have a Groot and another tank, whether it's Groot and Thing, Groot and Hulk, Groot and Magneto. The second tank really doesn't matter as long as you have the Groot for the extra buff, right? So you have two tanks. Obviously you have Jeff, right? Then you fit your DPS character will either be Iron Fist or Namor. Doesn't matter which one. Probably matters if you're dealing with like Spider-Man and Black Panther, you probably want the Namor unless he's banned. But Iron Fist, right? So you have 4 there, right? Jeff, 2 tanks, DPS. Then the other 2 supports, you get a Luna and something else. Luna and Adam Warlock, Luna Invisible Woman, it doesn't matter. Because of the Luna team up, Jeff's damage now is increased, so now his damage is able to actually be impactful. You have 2 healers who can kind of do most of the healing while Jeff is being really annoying. He's sitting on, basically he's kind of pocketing the Groot, right? Giving speed boost, kind of keeping his health built up. And then you also, now you have a playmaking ultimate where you can take 1, 2 people, well maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 people off the map, and it can really change the course of a team fight. But you're not relying on Jeff to be the primary healer. He will probably have the least amount of healing out of the 3, but he will have a kind of a mix of damage and healing and maybe a lot of kills because of his participation with his projectile damage and his ultimate. If you do not have that exact team comp, or a team comp that kind of filters those characters into it, Jeff is not very good. His damage is very mediocre. His healing is very mediocre. He's just not in the correct space to be able to be played without having the team up synergy of Luna and Groot. Just kind of how it is. So that is my tier list for the strategist class. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, like and subscribe to the channel if you guys do enjoy the content, and I will see you guys in the next video.